Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the. I am Troy Rawlings, and today we have an amazing, vivacious, I didn't tell I was going to use that word, vivacious coach, mentor, speaker, activation specialist, trainer, empowerment guru, gorgeous, glorious. This is protected. No, sorry. The one and only Miss Natalie Fikes. How are you?
Super fantastic with a cherry on top.
Oh, oh, sorry. I don't get that. They'd be like, I knew it. If I'd be like, they'd be like, oh. So y'all missed the pre-show. We was acting a little fool.
Two up in a swirl.
Ooh. I didn't say that. That's for my A.
You are right.
It was Miss Price that said that. Shout out to Keenan Ivory Wayners and the crew. That's what that meant. It wasn't what y'all thought. I'm setting up the camera action. How are you, Natalie, before we get in trouble?
I am the best me that I can be. I'm better today than I was yesterday. And ask me that in 5 more minutes and I'll be better then too.
Come on. All right. For people that don't know you, and I got to give a shout out to
Patrice
Fisher for putting me down with Natalie Fikes. I did not know about this dynamo. I did not know about, I just had fun. Well, because it's going to come out wrong. No matter how I was like, I just had fun looking at you, looking at what you was doing on social media. She just does a lot. She has a beautiful family. Her family look like, if anybody out there is casting a family, anybody's watching this casting a family, you need to get her and her boys. They look like it's amazing. So, and then I looked at some of you speaking, and a lot of times you get what you get from a person, but the switch, there's a switch when you start speaking, even the more so. And you start to hear all the years of experience and expertise and in life. So let's go back. I kind of Tarantino a little bit. So where are you actually from?
Well, it all started in Kingston, Jamaica, when 2 young lovebirds came together. Didn't see anything wrong with a little bit of bump and grind.
Mm.
And then they migrated to New York. And then they split. And it all went boom. I basically just lived everywhere. At that point, I was in Canada, back in Jamaica. I lived in Boston. I've lived in Texas. I've just been the product of a single mother. And then I lived in Virginia, and I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia.
ATL.
Yes.
So, hopped around, living all over. And so when did you realize you had something to say?
I've always had something to say. I was just growing up at a time when a child was to be seen and not heard. And so I got a lot of beatings because that was y'all's culture. I couldn't, bird has flight in it, fish has swim in it. I had talk in me, and they would try to beat the talk out of me. They would try to punish the talk out of me. I'm like, I don't know how.
You saving somebody right now. You saving somebody, some child and some adult is being saved from their own. The kid may be the belt or the punishment. The adult may have been punishing themselves all these years.
Really, I was really. If they would have listened to me, the world would be a better place. I'm like, that's not okay. It's not okay for people to treat you that way. It's not okay to do that. Once you tell the truth, hey, tell the bill collector I'm not there. But you're sitting right there. Won't you just communicate with them, make some payment arrangements, do what you need to do. And then the lights may, not get cut off. Nope, didn't want to listen to me. Kendall.
It was like, be quiet. It's the way we do things by here. But things got to change. The Matrix. Like, this girl started boxing. She was so good. Like, where'd you train? Home. She's a fast runner. Did you see how fast she was in the track? Where'd you train? Home.
I really
it all started.
Track star too, but
What'd you say?
I said I really am a track star, but you can't outrun a belt or a pot or a turkey.
Can't run a mother's anger. You can't outrun a mother's anger. Fathers will give up and say, wait till you get back here. But mothers?
Oh yeah, they gonna get you.
They'll get a foot. God will trip you up in the midst of something.
Dang.
Dang. Oh, you fall, I got you now. Oh yeah. So did you go to school? Did you go to college?
I graduated high school and I tried to go to college twice, but this mouth got me in trouble. So I was taught that you're supposed to get a good job and make a lot of money and all that other stuff. And I was in corporate America in high school. So I was I left home at 16, so nobody ain't get hurt. And so I had to work and provide for myself, right?
Right.
So I ended up in corporate America. I bought a house when I was 19. I was, making good money and all that good stuff. And I was like, well, they're going to pay tuition reimbursement, right? And so let me go to school. I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to go to school for. So why go, and stuff like that. But I was like, let me just, try this thing out. I get there and I got questions because what you saying and what I'm reading is not kind of like clicking. And so I would challenge the professor because this textbook is not the only thing that I read. And so, it was, you just need to this and all this other stuff. I'm like, I make more money than you, bro. I don't even know why I'm here. And so I left. And
you probably said that in class.
I absolutely said that because when you challenge people and they don't have an answer because they're in a position of authority, it wasn't to challenge your position of authority. It was just to ask a question about what it is that you said. And so when you don't have the answer, that's when you want to exert authority. And I'm like, I don't care that much, Went back the second time and I was so excited because there was a critical thinking class. So I assumed they would allow me to think critically. Oh, was I deceived? Because
the critical talking class, it hasn't been.
No,
there's a difference.
No, and I one thing I don't play about is my brain. I'm very, very selfish about what I allow in it, and I got questions. Okay, I'm very curious. I want to understand. So when they had this multiple choice, I said, hold on. How am I going to think critically if you're giving me the options from which I'm to think? I said, well, just pick one. I said, but I wouldn't do one. I would do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, just pick one. I'm like, I make more money than you do. I pay your check. No. So long story short, I have tried. The paper's just not worth it to me. I'll just take the long route because.
Well, we've learned that there's no such thing. Well, the long route is usually the best route. Right. Usually. For knowledge.
You get the scenery. You get the practice.
You get the journey. And you get things that certain books can't teach you.
Absolutely. But the red tape, the way it's all set up is if we can condition everybody to think the same way, then we can control the narrative.
So speaking on that, how do you, because I saw one of the things you were talking about in one of your sessions was talking about helping people get out of that cycle of not being, yeah,
It's called the
of
cycle.
thinking something's wrong. You know, a lot of us think something's wrong. That is the most marketable thing going right now. Be it weight, height, your look. You know, your body looks fine. Yeah, but I want to move this from here and put it over here. You know, if I can market that something's wrong with you, I got you.
Yep.
So how do you get people out of that cycle?
Well, the first thing you have to do is make a decision about who you are and then give yourself the right to change it tomorrow. Because like I said, 5 minutes from now, I'm going to be totally different. You understand? I should evolve it with every decision, with every moment. I should be growing and getting better in some sort of way. This conversation is allowing me to be better because I can't keep all this good juicy stuff inside of me and evolve. I'm gonna be bloated. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be constipated with the purpose that's in me that's supposed to be released for somebody else. So get up today and be the vessel, right? And make peace with your face. Look, this face is gonna be here tomorrow. So we might as well stop beefing. Okay? Won't you work on, and this is what I did. I used to think I didn't think I was pretty. I didn't think I was ugly. I really had nothing. I was good until people be like, boy, you got big lips. You got big lips. This is before other people started making lips big. Oh, you got a big butt. Oh, you got a big butt. Now everybody, but I was going to start feeling bad about myself for something that was going to become a fad later, And so I would go, and the one thing my mother did say is, you're not ugly. She didn't tell me why I wasn't ugly. She didn't say anything. She said, well, do you have big lips? I said, well, they are a little bit bigger than my face. She's like, oh, well. And
they're proportioned. You'll grow into them.
And I looked at my face one day and I was like, look, I wasn't there when we picked out this nose, these eyes, these lips, this ear. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But if God say yes, then that's what it's going to be. I'm not fighting with you every day. I'm not questioning you every day. I'm not going to try to make you better or make you. And then one day I'm walking and this guy walked past and he said, boy, you got some sexy lips. That settled the whole big lip issue. I said, I like the way that feels. And I'm like, well, why do I got to wait for somebody else to make me feel something? So I got addicted to making myself feel the way that I want to feel. If I don't like what you're saying to me, doesn't fit. I don't like it. I don't like the way that it feels. I don't like it. You got to make a decision about yourself. You got to be pre-approved before you leave the house. You got to be approved. Yes.
Never leave home without it.
This is the best I could do today. Okay. But what I will give you is character and consistency and make you feel like you're valuable because you are. And that's whether I got a lot of money in the bank or a little, whether I got the right foundation or not. I can always be those things. So I focus on what's going on inside of me. And, I show up and people are like, oh, you look good today. And I'm like, whew, thank God. Because
I don't know how I feel.
I got cramps and just bloated. And they're like, girl, you glowing. I'm like, good for you. Because I was moved anyway. Gas. Stop being so marketable, for the foolery. Stop being so marketable. I'm pre-approved. Just the way that I am.
Pre-approved. I had the same incident. I remember I look back at my pictures and I used to smile. No, yeah, I'm pretty. And his is funny. It was at like a elementary school science fair in the library, mixed school, white kids, black kids. And this white girl was sitting there, they were looking, and they had it's like, oh my goodness, white kids was just so I won't say they were anywhere more intelligent than black kids. They just knew different phrasing that we weren't used to. So, oh my goodness. It's like, what? Your eyes, they're sable. Like,
Sable.
like a, and I had to, years, it took me years. It was like, sable, the brown that glistens off of a horse. I ain't never seen a horse glisten. So I was like, okay, oh my goodness. And your smile, because when she used to say, I bust out laughing. I was she's like, your smile, your teeth, they are beautiful. If she hadn't said that, I know grown folks that smile. I know grown, somebody, you're going to get me for this. You're going to get me for this. I'm going to send it to him.
Speak your truth.
I got a friend now. His wife at their wedding. All the pictures. They like they posing together at a club or something like. I was like, why isn't she smiling? She got a beautiful smile.
Yep, it's all mental. It's all mental. I've seen the most beautiful people have breakdowns about how they can't look in the mirror and they can't stand themselves. And I see some people who have questionable earth suits. And
cut the camera. Cut the goddamn.
Because we're not all here to be appealing to the eyes. That doesn't mean that
you just
not
said. Come on, man.
That doesn't
that
mean
person was in there.
Stop this. We're gonna stop this. I don't even consider
you see it, and you just messed up. You just messed up the whole.
You gotta make peace with yourself. Don't label yourself as beautiful or ugly or any of that stuff. Some people are just here. You ever see it? Like, they are just beautiful. Like, just beautiful. I'm not here to be beautiful. I know that's not my ministry. Honestly, I consider myself to be attractive. And that has nothing to just necessarily do with my face or anything. I am an attractor. My spirit, my essence is attractive. That's all I focus on. So I've gone outside looking a hot mess, and I've gone outside glammed all the way up, and I still attract people. That's my focus. You know what I'm saying? If I try to go out there with the beauty queens, I'm going to lose. That's not my ministry. You should see me when I just wake up in the morning. Woo, child. There is a God.
Let me say this again, because I have to do a butt naked honest on this. And I've been telling my people I was going to do this. And because there was a sister, heavyset sister, said something. And you got me taking notes. It was a heavyset sister that mentioned something to me. Yeah, Troy, I was wondering because I was kind of talking to this guy and I'm used to, broke up with this guy. It was a very sexual relationship, blah, blah, blah. But, I'm a little on the heavy side. I'm like, and I know I'm different, but I'm like, what does that have to do with chemistry? I've always been a chemistry person. I'm always a connection, attraction. But you, see, I'm different. I'm a master barber by trade. I'm from Baltimore. One of the most beautiful sisters that used to come in the shop to get her hair done. And she was wearing, like, her high and tight was tighter than yours. Like, if it wasn't bald on the side, she felt like Marvin didn't do a good job. Her name was Max. Max was 6 foot flat-footed. And she never didn't wear heels. She always wore heels. Mm-hmm. And so you guys favor. She was a little bit darker than you, favored, hit everything flow. But she didn't have your proportion. You are a well-proportioned, like the brother said in 40-Year-Old Virgin. This is on purpose, brother. This wasn't by accident. Situate your positives. So for the person out there that doesn't feel like they're beautiful or doesn't, because that's I think it was a thing before, but it's such a big thing now. It's like cosmetic companies are making millions and billions of dollars quickly. Shapers, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for people doing the right thing, one thing. But I have this beautiful, beautiful sister, and I tell women all this that a guy can tell you you're beautiful all day long.
Doesn't matter.
And we're not even talking about guys. Most guys say, hey, I know I'm ugly. If it wasn't for Biggie, saying fat and ugly as hell, however, I stayed. He was like, however, I know how to dress. And I wear good cologne. And I got a little money. What do you say first?
That's the exact answer to your question. If you don't think that you're beautiful, then what is beautiful about you? Right? What you're focusing on is your weakness, right? Focus on your strengths. I don't need to be beautiful and glamorous to do what I do. That's not a requirement for what I do. And whoever my husband is going to be attracted to my ugly. Period. He's going to think it's the most beautiful thing in the world. You're going to be here stumbling over it, causing all insecurities in your relationship for no reason at all. If you got long fingers, you got long fingers. If you got a long nose, he going to love a long nose. If he going to, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? You might need long fingers. You know what I'm saying? You never know what it is. But at the end of the day, I just believe that God makes us perfect to put us in the right rooms and keep us out of the wrong ones. For the right people to say yes and the wrong people to say no. For some people to think that you're absolutely hideous, to the right people to think you are the most beautiful thing in the world. I tell people all the time, when I go into, I've done this on major stages. I said, let's just get this clear, okay? I already know what's happening in this audience. Half of you, probably you guys over there, you guys are looking at me and you guys are like, oh boy, she is bad. Banging Wakanda forever. Take me. Yes, she is working that short hair. Look at her. Bam. Now, y'all over there, I already know what y'all thinking. Okay? Yeah, I see y'all. She look like a shaved bird. Has she gone through chemo? What's wrong with her? She's sick. That's why I ain't talking to y'all. I'm going to be talking to y'all over here the whole time, right? Because there is no one place you are going to walk into and have everybody. So right. You walk in the room, as long as you have you, you're always winning. You're always winning. I know I bring value to this room. I know that when I leave, it will never be the same. I know that. And that's all I'm here for. I'm not here to impress you with my clothes. I'm not here to win you with my accolades. I'm here to get something into you. That is my only job. And I know that I know what I'm doing. So let's focus on that.
So when did that transition happen? Because somebody's watching this and be like, yeah, but when did she know? I was looking at something on Niche the other day. Because as an entrepreneur, you hit the wall and you like, look, I can get that gas station job. Pay this much a week. I'm good. Every time you see help wanted, I've been working since I was 12. So sometimes you're like, is it really me? And some people are looking at us from the other side and like, man, you're doing it. You're doing it. You're like, doing what? I'm grinding. When did you know? When did it go? I'm going to jump back a little bit. When did it go from, I can't do this school thing. This is, what am I going to do? To you realizing that you could command an audience, empower people, activate folks with your voice, and stand in front of thousands of people and do it. Where's the transition for you saying, I think I need to speak or tell my story? Where did that transition happen?
It happened in a moment. It wasn't anything just like it. We have become a culture where it's like, train me to do this and show me and teach me and all that other stuff. It's like Wizard of Oz. It's like, Dorothy, you had the slippers the whole time. Right? It just happens in a moment. for me, you have to run out of pretending. You have to run out of being a people pleaser and trying everything that you think you're supposed to do and forget to put on the costume one day and then just show up and then just leave the costume off. For me, being that I had to move to all these different schools, and I'm an actress too, right? And so what happened was, it was so much rejection. The cliques already established. The girls, they wasn't feeling me, and the guys were, which made the girls hate me. It was just a mess. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna switch it up. So the next school I go to, I'm gonna pretend to be whoever the cool person was at the last school. Because the thing about starting a new school is that nobody knows you. So you could tell them you was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and they wouldn't know anything.
Like, what?
Right.
Word.
So I would take on whatever characteristics. So if she was the pretty, sensual one, I was the pretty sensual one. And guess what? They would reject me. So then when I would leave that school, I would go to the next school and I would say, okay, she was hardcore. She was a gangster. I'm going to be a gangster at this one. I'm like, yo, break yourself, fool. Right. And they rejected me. And so I would go to the next school and I would be I was everybody in every school that I went to. And it's all every woman. I was every woman, and I even tried to thug it out and I tried everything. I was smart, I was dumb, I was everything. And so when I finally settled in the 10th and a half grade, right before I left home, I forgot to show up one day. I forgot to choose who I was gonna be, and I was just myself. Funny, just me, the home girl. And everybody was cracking up and everything was cool. And I was like, oh snap, they don't even know this me though. It's me though. And guess what? They still rejected me.
You funny today.
Not them, right? And so I realized what was different was I actually enjoyed the experience. Because I was me. I'm like, yo, if they're going to reject me anyway, I might as well be myself. And so I carry that in everything that I do. So I'm like, if I say something that I believe is my truth as a part of my speech, they might never bring me back again. But that was for that courageous act, maybe for one person in that audience. And it's worth it to me. I'm going to show up and I'm going to tell the truth in a moment. And it's going to be what it's going to be. The wrong people will always exit your life. The right people, no matter what you do, will always be there. So I'm a bet on me every time.
I love that you said bet on me. Eddie Murphy said something recently. He was talking to Drew Barrymore on a show. And, of course, Eddie started 15, 16, hitting stages in New York. By the time he got to Saturday Night Live, I think he was 18. He got in and then he had to wait till, of course, I think he had to be 18 to come on or something like that. But Drew Barrymore was on the show. She was a kid, she was crushing Firestarter, all those E.T. I think she had just did E.T. So he showed the clip and he was like, yeah, man, for us to make it this far, of course, he's 10, 15 years older than her. But he said something very key. He was like, we heard you were very spiritually grounded. And that's why you stayed out of a lot of stuff and you're still, people like you and this, that, and other. He said, well, I just didn't get into a lot of the stuff my contemporaries got into, the drinking, the drugs. And he mentioned his contemporaries, Prince, Michael Jackson, and Whitney Houston. In our lives, three of the biggest stars ever. Yeah, and all three of them died from drugs.
Yeah.
And Eddie was friends with him. He was there with him. He didn't get into a lot of stuff. And he said, I think the thing was, I just realized what I was meant to do at a very young age. And he said, and I never beat myself up. I never hated on myself. I always loved myself. And I'm my biggest fan. And he kind of laughed and giggled to himself when he said it. But, here in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, like stars treat Eddie like a star. But it's funny because you think about it, it was like, is that it? Is it because he just chose to love himself. And you saw how his swag he's always had the same swag. But if you think about it, it's like, okay, is that it? Is that the magnitude? He just was himself. Now, Richard Pryor was that in another sense. He went through so much stuff, and he said he went through a lot of stuff, and then he realized he just started talking about his own life. He was doing the same thing. He said, I tried to be Richard Pryor. I tried to be Bill Cosby because Bill Cosby was getting all the work. So everything I did sound like Bill, stuff like that. That's what he did early off. And then one day he had a breakdown, cussed somebody out, went up to Berkeley, came back and started talking about his life, growing up in a hoe house, brothel. Mine was a hoe, and people he connected.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the biggest thing you said in the midst of us talking about that. Us not being ourselves robs us of connecting to the people that we're supposed to help.
Absolutely. And it robs us of our purpose. That's what we have to understand, is that we have a purpose to fulfill. And what was really stopping Eddie and Steve Harvey and anybody that got on was trying to do it the way you think it's supposed to be done, trying to look or sound or be something other than yourself. I was pre-approved when they was trying to shut me up. The tree is inside the seed. Okay. That motivational speaker was always there. I've always been a coach. They've always come to me after they've made bad decisions on how to fix it my entire life. But because I had all of my environmental issues, I couldn't tap into my environmental strength. I was allowing everything around me to tell me and to make me react to it until I went inside. And it is actually a spiritual grounding. It was, for me, I cussed God out. That's what happened to me. I had a look, because I was raised to be a hoe. Like, that was my programming. It was, you see all your body shape, you can't have any man you want. You see? And if you're done with him, you go get one next man. And you make sure him pay for this and him do this and do that. I've been a wife.
Your mom just went over and turned on the Patra video. Look at this.
I'm on a romantic call, right? And I'm like,
some people are like, who is Patra? Like, y'all gotta look it up on YouTube.
Look it up.
You're gonna mess your whole Monday up.
But I've been a wife my whole life. There are single wives and married women. Single wives, but married women. Women who want to be married, but aren't wives. You understand? That's why when a man finds a wife, woo, child, you found a good thing. She's already what you need her to be. I've always been that. When I was trying to be promiscuous, that's when I was making mistakes. I've always just been.
He was sticking around too long and didn't even know it. He was like, "What you doing? You don't want anything?"
I'm like, this is stupid to me. I'm not built for this. I am not built for you walking in with another woman after you done been with me. I'm not built for trying to find my drawers in the morning. I'm not built for that. I'm not built for my feelings getting hurt. I'm just not built for that. I am built for taking the time to get to know this man so that I can influence him in a way that's going to make everything beautiful. I need one person to learn. I can't be doing all of that, lying. I don't want to get addicted to it because, that's not for me. You understand? It was when I was trying to do the things that people were trying to tell me that I needed to do. Get the job, do this, do that, get the husband, get the kid, get all of that. I did everything everybody told me to do. And I was successful at it, but I was dying. I was dying on the inside. And so I was like, that didn't work. I don't like it. Let me try something else. This is stupid to me. I don't like it. And I started realizing that people don't take the time to get to know themselves before they tell other people how they should be. You don't know who you are. You're not walking in your purpose. You're not doing what fulfills you. You're doing what makes money. You're doing what made sense to your mama and them. You are doing what society is now saying you should do. And then when the next president comes in, it's going to be something different. You just all over the place, but you want to sit and tell somebody else how to do it. Nah, I'm good. I'm going to figure out Natalie and what makes Natalie tick and what makes Natalie successful. And all money ain't good money. My piece is non-negotiable, and I cannot be bought. I cannot be bought. And I will say this, because we talk about Prince and all this other stuff. DMX really, his death really affected me severely. It still is affecting me, because at the end of the day, he took them drugs for his flesh, because he was beaten and he was neglected and he was treated all, and his heart was broken because somebody that he trusted laced his weed. Okay? He was hurt. And those drugs was for his flesh. But one thing that never died was his spirit.
That's right.
One thing, that man lived his purpose every day of his life. And people will never understand that. People will never understand how he confessed his sins every day. He said, I struggle with this. I know I'm not this, whatever, but I'm going to tell you one thing about me. I love my kids. And God loves me. And I'm going to be, every day he demonstrated. But we won't look at him and take notes from him because of drugs. But there are more people on drugs that you don't know about. There are more people who are suffering in silence, not living in their purpose, trying to be what everybody else wants him to be. He was in the rap game, cussing and praying. He did
at the end of the show. He's like, "We get in the show. We're not making sure we give God some." And everybody knew. At the end of the show, people were like, "Put that down. Put that down.
Put that down. Put that. Put that down."
Hold it.
Because you do the best that you can with what you have, what you've been given, what you've gone through, and we have to change the perception of what perfection looks like, because nobody is perfect except truth. Truth is only perfection that we have. Just speak your truth. Own yourself. Own your truth. This is what I struggle with. Let folks know. And if you can't rock with it, then it's cool. Divorce me, leave me, do what you need to do. But this is me.
So, pandemic hits, everything you're going through. What's the biggest thing that you found yourself, or the main course of action or main course of things you've been telling your clients who were business owners, entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, whatever they were doing, pandemic hits, what's your message to them in the next mode, when everything hit? What was your message to your people?
If you're going to die, you're going to die. If you're going to die, you're going to die. So until that happens, live. Just live. That's it. That's all I have to say. Live. If you see, the thing about the beauty of a pandemic is that it doesn't sneak up on you like a heart attack.
Right.
You know that it's there. You know it's out there. It's airborne. You know what I'm saying? So if you are going to die, would you spend more time with your family? Would you be more of yourself? Would you write that book? Would you record those messages? Would you live? Do that. Just focus on that. That's it. I ain't got nothing fluffy. I ain't got nothing woo-woo about it. Folks are going to die.
Focus on what you're called to do.
Just be who you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's it. That's all you can do. What I'm not going to do, you're balled up in fear. That's what I'm not going to do. And I'm also not going to run out there and break the law and do, whatever I want to do and run into the death.
Right. Or somebody, he's like, what happened? Like doing some wrong. You said something key earlier, and it's funny when you mentioned balled up with fear. I don't know if people realize how powerful people don't realize how powerful their mind is
Oof.
and how much of our mind we actually do use. The misconception is that we use about 10%. We don't. Actually, the 90% of our mind that we use is actually not just subconscious, it's consciously pursuing different.
Mhm.
So the part of our mind that operates the best is different. It operates like crazy when we're in love, when people are speaking in the spirit, they don't know what they're doing. When the lighten up. What are the things in your life that um gave you a shit? Because I know at some point in time you were like, you probably were the person's like, this is who I am. I'm gonna say what I got to say. So where is that where you realize what you had to say was actually more so on the help side than flip? Or was there ever a time where you realized that, okay, let me tone it down because I'm about to cuss this person out. Let me help them.
Yeah, I used to be very verbally abusive because that's where I came from. And
All right.
so I would implode. I would hold and hold and hold. I was a passive killer, where I'm not going around messing with nobody. People do stuff. I just take it. I take it. I take it. I take it. But then when the tank is full and I'm at my capacity, whoever catch it, gonna catch it. Right. And in most cases, it was whoever was closest to me because that was the only people that I would allow to hurt.
Right. Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
They,
So,
they have the easiest access to your heart too.
right. And so I would hold and hold and hold and I would explode. I remember I cussed my first adult boyfriend out so badly. I literally saw his soul, like the movie Soul. I saw his soul leave his body. Gone. I told him what he wasn't. Give me the keys. That's my car. You ain't that. You in my. I tore that man. I confirmed every voice in his mind that beat him up. I confirmed it. The same loving woman, the same one that was there for him, that same mouth that blessed him, cursed him. And I had never seen that. I went years later and apologized to him and said, everything I said was just from hurt. It was that bad. And so it wasn't until I cussed God out. I mean, I really cussed God out because I told him the things I was doing to numb myself were no longer working. And I could feel him like tugging on my heart, like, all right, you didn't tried all of this. Won't you come on over here? And I'm like, you want me to come over to you with all these fake people in the world acting like this? My mom used to go to church and do this and then beat the crap out of me. You want me to be like them fake people? You want me to? I got all of that venom that was inside of me. I call it spiritual suicide. I was done. It was either cuss God out and he just strike me dead or go into depression. So I was like, well, I'd rather him just take me, because you
Right.
can't talk to God like that. Man, I let out everything I ever wanted to say. I was so wounded. I was so hurt. I was so disappointed. And I let it all out. And I woke up the next day. And for me, that was a big deal because I never, ever, especially not at a 10, expressed my truth in such rawness without there being some sort of blow up or breakdown or something bad happening. And I actually felt peace. I felt peace. And then I was like, there gotta be a better way to get the truth out. And so it was actually reading the Bible and watching how Jesus did it. Because let me tell you something, whether you believe in Jesus or not,
That
his
was a smooth criminal.
Gandada. Oh, gee. You know what I'm saying? So when he had crowds up against him and the way he dealt with that stuff, the way he talked to people, the way he was, I was like, wow, I want to be that. I want to do that. And they were like, when he finished speaking, people were like, we've never heard such great teaching. That's what I want to do. That's what because I know I have this thing, but I got to tune my instrument. And so I started filling my mind with good things, because what goes in comes out. So I started reading personal development books. I started working on myself, and all of a sudden it just started coming out differently. Yeah. And so it's not like you can make it happen. It's just one day you undo the lock that had your voice trapped in the wrong place, and then it just comes out back to purpose, because that's what it was intended for in the first place, but it was snuffed out as a kid.
So just, what are some, do you have daily things that you do, prayers, mantra, meditation, anything you do as far as, obviously, like you said, you read a lot.
Bro, it's been real. I knew they was gonna get you.
I'm too bad. Understand? Hold up, one pause. I want to put this on hold for a second. Okay, take me.
What do I do every day?
Yeah, what are your daily things that you do that you can help somebody? Like somebody right now, they're all in. They're gonna be DMing you like, girl. But what are some things you do on a regular basis that set the course of your day? Because I know, coming from where I came from, I know how going to sleep at night after just giving your heart to God, like as a kid, especially as a kid, when I was younger, and do it and fall asleep with tears. You know, when I think about the weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning, I lived that. When you wake up and people are like, you're a morning person, you always up in the morning. I was like, you know how awesome it is to know you got another day to do it again.
Oof. That's it. So for me, it's not about how you wake up, it's about how you go to sleep. That's really my thing, because I love reading the Bible before I go to sleep. So when people are talking about they falling asleep to social media, I don't fall asleep to TVs. I don't even believe televisions tell me my vision is supposed to be playing while I'm sleeping. Like, I don't play about my spirit, and I do not play about my mind. I do not play about my mind. And so I'm reading the Bible.
You gotta have that t-shirt somewhere. I don't play about my mind. You gotta have the t-shirt.
I don't play about my mind. You know what I'm saying? I heard you. So I'm filling my mind with things, whatever are lovely, whatever so pure, whatever are good things. You know what I mean? And in most cases, it's whatever I dealt with the day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I need a little bit more than, I forgive those that forgive me or whatever. I'm like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Tell me why I'm not supposed to get up tomorrow and punch her in the face. Tell me why. I know.
Ain't nothing but a party.
Ain't nothing but a party. A gangster's party. You know what I'm saying? Tell me why I'm not supposed to go upside my kid's head. Tell me why. I think this is the time where tell me why. I make myself at peace with whatever happened for the day. I go to sleep with that. And in most cases, I wake up with something in my spirit. Like something, I am aware that I'm sleeping, but I'm awake in places. I can hear God talking to me. And when I wake up in the morning, it's like a scripture is on my spirit, or something has transpired. That word worked its way through me in some sort of way. And I wake up new. I don't let the sun that go down on my wrath. I believe that you gotta let that stuff go. So it really is about the cleansing of it that starts the day. Absolutely. Don't go to sleep with that stuff, because tomorrow gonna have its own stuff.
You're right.
It's going, and when I say have its own stuff. Now imagine if your purpose for the day, challenge, whatever it is, starts first thing in the morning, and you did not clean your vessel before you went to sleep. What if you wake up to gunshots? What if there's a fire, or what if, and you didn't clean your vessel before you went to sleep?
Right.
You ready.
There's I can talk to you for hours. So schedule appointment, doctor. No. There's well, let's get to this. You did an event, even though we don't date these. I try not to date them, keep it pretty generic. But you did an event, or you're doing, is it an ongoing series that you're doing?
Yes.
Break it down.
So the Greater Purpose for the Soul series is where we can come and have conversations that are uncomfortable, but give us the clarity and the truth. I was just making sure my screen was clear. I want to make sure. I thought you was doing one of them things. You was gonna come out with a wig.
A wig, though? That always scares me when I see a guy on here. He's like, "No, you ain't got to put your hand up there. I know what you're about to do."
I know exactly what you're about to do, bro.
I know what's about to happen. Come on, brother.
But Greater Purpose for the Soul is for us to really work on ourselves and do our inner work for ourselves. It really is a spin on like Super Soul Sunday, but I'm gonna be real honest. I don't think that celebrities should be running the world. I don't think just because you won a Grammy, you should be telling me how to raise my children and, you know, what skincare products I should be using. You won a Grammy, okay? But there are real people out here that, like myself, like I don't play about motherhood. I don't play about that. I don't play about relationships. I don't play about how we treat our men. I don't play about how we treat ourselves. I don't play about those things. And I do not play about God. Jesus specifically, okay? And those are just things that just because you got to a certain level in life, that unless you've done the work, it goes back to me and the professors and different things of that nature. It's like, I'm a homeowner, you might be a professor, but how you gonna tell me about home ownership when you haven't gone through it?
Right.
That's why I'm very mindful about the things that I speak about. I don't care what kind of accolades you coming to look for me. I didn't go to school for this. I live this. Okay? I can tell you practically how to be face-to-face in conflict where somebody's spit touches your lip and you don't punch them to sleep. When you've had anger issues, when you have issues with people coming into your space, I can teach you that. I can tell you because I've lived it. But you don't want to hear it from me because I'm not fancy and flashy and all that other stuff because I haven't fallen. No, I'm a preventative type of person. I don't want to get strung out and broken up and all that other stuff. Look, I already
you don't have a testimony. I do have a testimony. Did you meet my mama?
I survived. My mama. That's my testimony.
My mama.
I don't need no sequels. I don't need nothing else. I don't need nothing else. I'm good. I got a divorce under my belt. I got a baby daddy. You know, I got all types of stuff. But most of my things are preventative. You understand? It's to be preventative. I live my truth. I walk my truth. I am here to be a standard and a representation of what it is. So, Greater Purpose for the Soul, I can speak on the things that I've mentioned and help people get free from that. Relationship is what is the most important thing to God, and He's the most important thing to me, and that's what I'm here for. I learned it the wrong way, and I said, whoa, something ain't right. That ain't it. And now I've learned the right way. That's the space for it. So this particular series is called The Broken Truth of Motherhood. And it's tight. but it's right because I am of the belief, since we out here throwing out opinions, I am of the belief that it is the mother's responsibility to raise the children. And it's because she creates the environment. It starts in her womb, right? So the issues you have with your children started in the womb. How you treat yourself, what you allow and what you don't allow, all of that stuff is environment. What culture are you creating? Stop focusing on the man. Okay? You cannot make a man do anything. He was a seed planter. The seed was planted in your soil, in your womb. You are responsible for watering it and developing it and all of that. Okay? Well, what about the men? You can't make nobody do nothing.
I like that's a t-shirt.
You can't make I'll hit you
just like that. You can't make nobody do nothing.
You can't make them do nothing.
Nothing.
Right?
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. And the thing is, men are not here for the environment and to do all of that. That's the woman's responsibility. The man sets the standard. So if you will support him in his standard, if you would first check his standard before you let him in your womb, let's start there. And then you complaining about the standard. He ain't. Well,
I'm sorry, brothers, that had some plans for later on tonight after you watch this. I'm sorry. If you watch it, the woman is going to be empowered. You can be empowered. She is empowering you too. I don't want you to feel left out.
Well, the reason why your standards is jacked up is because your mother's womb, the environment wasn't there, or your daddy was a certain type of standard that was not a good standard. It all comes back to the most powerful thing that a woman has: influence. It is a woman's responsibility to influence her environment. If you can't get that man to take out the trash, then how you gonna get him to show up properly for his kids? If you can't get him to call you back, if you can't be on the top of his mind in the morning, what you doing laying down with him? That's the standard. And now you got a kid and then you mad because he's not there? Come on. We gotta get ourselves right. So the next session, the first session was the miseducation of motherhood. The next one is heal the woman, birth the mother. Because if we can heal as women and stop taking advice from broken women, this feminist movement and this is what the men are supposed to diss and all. Let me tell you what I know about a man, because I've had great experiences with men. They will do anything for their woman. They want you to put boundaries in place.
I approve that message.
They will. These guys.
If the woman is standing in her womanhood and being a woman, and people understand it when I tell, because for the past 18 years of me doing my sex love relationship tour, 98% of my audience has been women. When they say, well, I'm trying to be man, I said, just be womanly. And they look at me, womanly? What do you mean? Just be womanly. It's certain things that a man just can't do. And I said, the one thing that melts masculinity is femininity.
But what does femininity mean? Because we've made it mean something else. It's vulnerability. Be vulnerable. Stop acting all hard.
No, hold up. I talk about this because now, and I'll let everybody do what they do. But one of the reasons that I talk to women about wearing dresses, some men wear dresses. Let me tell you something. The dress actually, I'm not talking about the dude at the Met. The dresses are actually for you guys. I said, women in an office setting will get upset with the woman that all the men are looking at. Oh, she in a dress. You know, all the men looking at it. They're like, oh, you need some facts, Ann? Or you need some coffee, Ann? And the men are tripping over themselves. We get stupid. We get stupid around a woman just walking.
Mm-hmm.
So the misconception is that the misconception is that men don't want relationships. Men are the most committed beings on the planet. We commit to stuff. That's what we do.
Women are the ones that divorce more than men. Men, I know men who are miserable in their marriage and won't
Leave.
they won't leave. So when you sit here like, oh yeah, it's because he doing this and because he doing that and all this other stuff, they are hoping that one day you gonna wake up and act right. That's it.
And we're not talking about dudes that's dogging you, hitting you. We're not talking about that.
No, we're not talking about little boys. We're not talking, I'm talking about a man. You understand? And I'm like, sometimes you're not attracting a man because you're still a little girl. You still want to go to the mall and get bought tennis shoes. And now tennis shoes are pocketbook.
Look, don't get all to him. Don't give a this is I feel like the red man joke. Hey, chill, Reggie. chill out. You gotta stop. We just hit an hour. We can keep going. But I want you, before you go any further, I want you to give everybody your information, how to get in touch with you, how to hit you up, how to connect with you, and how they can get information on the mother. Say it again.
Greater Purpose for the Soul, the broken truth of motherhood. That's the series we're doing for May, and then we got one for Father's Day. We breaking all them strongholds down. But I run the Greater Purpose Society, and it's really teaching women how to create the system that leads to freedom, right? Free to be emotionally free, spiritually free, relationally free, physically free, and financially free. That's the Greater Purpose Society. And so you can find me anywhere. Just follow the bald head and the big smile with a good spirit. It's NatalieFikes.com, Natalie Fikes, at Natalie Fikes, Natalie Fikes everywhere.
That's how you gotta do it. You keep it simple. Natalie Fikes. There's only one Natalie Fikes. Anything else you want to say before you get out of here?
Live life in purpose, on purpose, and with purpose, because you're necessary. You are necessary. Everything you've been through, everything that you are is necessary. Nobody wants to hear your sad stories. Okay. I know that's what everybody is saying, and that's how you finding your voice and all that other stuff. That's you're bigger than your sad story. Okay. You go through to get someone else through. So if you're just out here bleeding to get attention, because that's what it's come to. If you're out here just doing that so people will notice you and that's what the trend is, you're missing the purpose in your pain. Your story should have the comma that says, but God. I want this, but here are the practical steps that I took. And here's how you get out. That's it. Use your voice to uplift people, not to tear people down. And if you can't do that, keep your mouth shut.
Keep my name out your mouth. Put some spec on my name.
Put some spec. We're out here killing each other and we don't even realize it. So we have to get ourselves right. We're not right. We're not okay. We sitting here saying that the cops are killing us, but I read posts every day that's tearing a black man down. Let's get some perspective.
Natalie Fikes. Oh, sorry. Okay. You got what?
The cops waiting outside.
You said what? The cop. It is going down. I'm scared. This is a nice area. I'm in Media City. This is the studio capital of the world. What's going on out here in these streets? I'm from Baltimore, though, so it was like.
Anyway, oh yeah, they just killed somebody.
What did you say?
Kudos
to
you.
Dunking down.
I'm in Baltimore because, woo, child. With good.
Love for my city, love for Baltimore, love for my city. I'll say that much. But also, you're absolutely right. We have to do a part 2 because we got to talk about that. My mission in life is to help men and women communicate better in love, and that's what did it. In the midst of me doing the tours and midst of me doing all this stuff, wanting to see the divorce rate drop, but realizing how we were talking about each other and talking to each other and recognizing the love was lost and we forgot that we were created for one another. I don't need no man. Well, it's funny. God thought you were so important. He made you because we needed you. But that's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
Natalie Fikes. Natalie Fikes.
That's your chocolate.
I didn't say that either. See? I didn't say it. I just lead it in. She said it. If I said it, it could be a problem. If I said it.
This has been great.
I loved it. Thank you so much, Natalie. I appreciate you.
You're worth it. We'll talk soon.
See you in a bit.
Bye.